Out. At 15 love. Love.
Conditions always a talking point as the players travel around the world. What's the court speed? What are the balls? How are they reacting? And some of that does depend on the heat. The hotter, typically, the faster things are. So far, the word I'm getting from the playing group is that the court is relatively medium speed, but the balls have a big variability. They start off like BBs, really small, and then the nap, the yellow fuzz, just grows as they get worn in. And by the fourth or fifth game that they're in their life cycle, they become heavier and slower.
Ball.
Becomes easier to break serve seemingly later as the balls get a little bit more fatigued, and the returner gets a little bit more of a chance to get a hit on the ball. A little early stress test now for Bergs at 30 apiece.
At 40-30.
Hardest thing for Jiang after he's been away for a long time is those sort of big pressure moments, 30-all break points, just being able to put your best tennis on the court in those instances. That's a very strong start and a very promising start. It was a terrific season, but it wasn't easy for him, I'm sure, to go into the off-season having lost that match against Volley, having had those 7 match points and having a think. Jan de Witt, he came on Bergs' bag in June of last year after he split with Christoph Fliegen just after Roland Garros, and he is one of the wisest owls out there on the tour. He has worked with some of the best players and a very varied numbers of players. Bashir Asvili, Gael Monfils, Gilles Simon, I would say, would probably be the person that probably was the most interesting for him in terms of how Gilles saw the game tactically.
Well, Gilles Simon, one of the more interesting players in the game style-wise in the last 20 years, because he simply lacked power and had to use finesse and guile, and that is a real challenge for a coach to try and help a player with limited weapons try and compete in an era of weaponry. And Jan de Witt certainly helped him have a fantastic career.
Perfect. Then you can use the assistant. Assistant can give you the towel. Yeah.
Jim highlighted it. This is the strongest part of Zhang's game is his serve, and that is a beautifully fluent motion. Whatever problems he's had consistently with the forehand side, he has not had any struggles at all with the serve.
At 15-all.
Grew up with a varied taste in different training methods, because his journey took him to Spain, the US, France, Italy and Croatia at various stages of his development. Trained at the same place as Daniel Medvedev in Nice for a while. Not a bad sparring partner.
At 30-15.
She played Daniel in qualifying at Nice at the ATP event there. Lost in a final set breaker, did Jiang. Never easy, is it, when you're that close to somebody and then you suddenly see that player just elevate themselves.
Yeah, that's right. And you've been practicing alongside them. That's a promising start for Zhizhen. Holds to one apiece. Little nerve settler for both players.
The first time that Jiang's come back from a significant injury, 2015. He ended up breaking his foot in a competitive match, which kept him off the tour for a while. So he has been through this process. Jim, we know what his assets are, but where are the liabilities in the game?
First serve percentage is a big problem for him compared to other players his size. He's 6'1" in the old, and most players at that height serve over 60% first serves in play, get a lot more free points. He makes far lower than that, so that's an area where he could really do some good work to buff up that percentage. And one of the big talking points at the end of 2025 was the slight technical change that Jannik Sinner made to his serve, where he adjusted his ball toss, and all of a sudden his first serve percentage had rocketed up from good to unbelievably great. So that's the area for Bergs that is the glaring weakness right now, is that the lack of first serves compared to the field. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, when I watch him serve, I actually feel as though the motion looks great. I feel like his ball toss is a little bit further to the right than the majority of great servers. I feel as though it's a very pure, flat serve. It doesn't have a lot of curve when you look at the ball toss, particularly on the deuce side. And everyone has a side that they tend to serve a little bit better to. And I do think he could just adjust the ball course. The back injury really probably more the talking point than anything else for Steph last year, just the 40 matches played. So very encouraging start.
What a steal from Zizou Bergs. Drop shot, pretty good quality from Jiang. And Bergs gets there, slides into it, and shoves it down the line, and the tall Chinese player cannot get a hand on it. That was fantastic.
Interesting to see if Bergs continues to try and swing at the returns, or whether there's any ability to try and block some of these bigger first serves coming at him, get himself into the rally. So good disguise on this delivery. It's tough to pick it when you watch a tennis match. Try and get a feel for where they're going to serve with the ball toss, but Jiang with excellent disguise.
At 40, 15.
Spent the entirety of his time off in Shanghai, just one little trip across for the Laureus Sports Awards. Apart from that, spent most of his time unable to hit tennis balls after he pulled up stumps on his season after Indian Wells. Did a lot of running, started hitting balls again in July. Jiang.
Team China.
Hitting his spots with his serves so far. Good quality serving from Zhizhen, and it's too even.
Love 15.
I know it's a fresh year, but a little bit of pressure out of the blocks here for Bergs, of course. Made the final of Auckland, lost to Gael Monfils there, got himself out of qualifying and all the way through to the championship match. A few points to defend.
Love 30.
The ball into the Bergs forehand quickly there. Delivers an unforced error and a love 30 opportunity for Team China. Jiang opting to stand pretty neutrally for the second serve return, not crowding the baseline, but not deep either. And he rushes that backhand, and here comes the first opportunities for a break of serve. Up 40.
Love 14.
Come on, man.
Ball.
Pretty potent second serve there, 168 kilometers an hour. That's a pretty good pop. And Bergs was able to stay in control even though he had to hit the second serve there. One break point down, two still to go. If you are going to try and rush Triple Z, the forehand side is less stable than the two-handed backhand. Good serve there, and two of the 3 points wiped away.
Really took the pace off there to make sure he made the first serve. And he did exactly what Jim was saying, directing the traffic into that forehand wing.
Team Belgium.
That's a mature couple of serves, taking the pace right off, finding the target. That was a particularly impressive array of serves. He gave them a little bit of everything.
Yeah, that was a good mixture with the serve, mixing in locations, hitting some softer first serves as well that had impact, and delivering himself a nice present. Out of the love 40 jam and still on serve with the lead 3-2.
This is the moment where the old boomerang break may come, because he's held on.
Out. 15 love.
Hasn't dialed down the pace on the returns. Still gripping and ripping.
15 all.
Just take a little look at where Bergs settles here for the return. He was up close to the baseline on the due side. He dropped further back on the ad for that second point.
And 30-15.
Jiang not tempted to use the slider out wide, given the fact that Bergs had kind of given up that angle by dropping deeper.
And 40-15. Out. Game team.
A couple of loose errors in that game from Bergs, unable to capitalise on any momentum he had built up by hanging on to his serve.
And 3 games all.
And delighted to say, Wally Masur has been patiently sitting courtside for the last 6 games. Hi, Walt.
Guys, how you going? I've got to agree with your summation. I'm sitting courtside, sort of my eyes are at foot level of the court, but just I think Bergs' second serve ball toss is spot on. I think that should be his first serve ball toss.
15 love.
Agreed. His ball toss throws him to the right and well into the court, so he loses shape. And that, I guess, is what you've been discussing, just his first serve percentage. To take the next step from being a top 40 player. What is the next step? Well, there's a few to take, and the serve is certainly one. Nice and composed, though, at that love 40 situation, to have the courage to throw in a few change-outs at love 40, upset the rhythm of Jiang. That was smart. So you've basically got 2 players whose career high rankings are both very similar, but what you get the feeling, one's in the ascendancy, obviously, in Bergs, and Jiang is just trying to recapture that form after injury.
Net first service.
Wally, just to put some numbers, we've been talking about the lower first serve percentage compared to his peer group in the top 100. 63% is the average first serve percentage for a top 100 tour player. Bergs is among the lowest at 57%. That's just a lot of additional stress on a player to have to defend the second serve when points are basically at that point a toss-up, right? The second, the way that I look at it is the first serve, that's your sword. You're trying to pierce the veil with someone. You're trying to hurt them. Your second serve is your shield. You're trying to protect yourself. You're really just trying to get the point started and not be at a deficit. Having to do that too often is just added unnecessary stress, don't you think?
Well, I'm sitting on that service line there, so that was a foot long, that serve, with very little spin. And you saw when it bounced, there's no great height off the court. You watch this second serve. He gets margin. I know he missed it wide, but he gets margin, and that thing is almost rising as it hits the back fence. So, if you're coaching him, you say, mate, I think that second serve ball toss is your ball toss. And then it's just a little manipulation with the racket face on impact, whether you want to flatten it out, hit the slider, hit the kick. There again, 3 or 4 steps into the court, so there's just a big shift. Front foot, back foot into the court. Second serve is up and over as a rule. Put the mocker on his second serve here.
Use.
Interesting too, just watching. I've not seen him play live before. I've only caught him on tape. but there's a little flourish on that forehand side too. And you mentioned it, Jim, when Jiang went in hard and fast to that forehand, it was interesting.
What he has done well on his service games is play the big points well.
Team Belgium.
Must have just caught a little piece of the back edge of the line there, Bergs, as he continues to just about stay in for
A little extra tension, a little higher tension in the racket to handle the speedier balls coming his way right now. Able to do it, but these rackets, the strings do lose a little bit of tension as they get worn in. So most players do change when the new balls are put in play.
Talk a lot about technology changes. I was talking to Volley yesterday a little bit about sort of racket lengths. Of course, there's a maximum racket length in tennis, 29 inches. Obviously, the average is 27. He was talking about the fact that you can actually obviously have no well, that's nice from Jiang. You can have no minimum length. You can go as short as you like. In fact, Ivan Lendl played with a shorter racket than 27 inches. Actually, Wally, I didn't realize I went and started doing a bit digging after that, because we talk about at the start of the year, there's been a lot of sort of hardware upgrades for players in terms of their rackets. Lendl played with a racket that was strung with 8 different knots.
Reason?
Apparently, because it gave him a bigger sweet spot.
Wow.
You wouldn't really want to be his personal racket stringer.
No, a little bit of pressure on you there, get those 8 knot rights. But yeah, look, I just find it interesting when I look at the size of the players in the game now. Milos Raonic was one that always came to mind. Such tall guys, and the serve was tremendous, obviously, but sometimes they just get in an awful mess off the ground. And there was this tendency to go longer with the rackets. And we were talking yesterday, Petch, sometimes shorter may help.
4 games all.
Short service game, that's for sure.
What you do see some players, quite a few players do, is when they get up to the net, they choke up on the racket, and that gives them a little bit more control. They lose a little bit of the reach, but especially in doubles, when you're in rapid fire exchanges at the net, a lot of the players will choke up for more control. But on the serve, you want to be as far down on the butt cap as possible to get maximum arc on your serve, like having a driver in a golf bag as opposed to teeing off with a 3-wood or a hybrid. You have a longer shaft on the golf club. It gives you a longer pathway and more distance. Ultimately, that's the same concept for the serve. You want as much of that as possible. Hit it at the apex as high as possible, because you're trying to hit it into a pretty small target. When you're hitting it 207 kilometers an hour, the window that you have to hit it into the court is not very big at all. Well, the taller you can hit the ball, either with height or length of racket or jumping up higher to get it, better chance you have of making it.
He is a shot maker.
30 love.
That's the downside from dropping deep. Do leave a few options available to your opponent, whether that's a little slower second and a serve and volley, But you have to return extremely well when you're that far behind the baseline.
Game. Team Belgium.
Off tour, didn't decide to have surgery, and then got inspired by Corentin Moutet, who was out on tour at that particular time, just chipping away with his backhand. And that's what he ended up doing for a couple of months. He also went out there and played competitive and added a new tool to the toolbox. Always feels strange that somebody has to go to that extreme of snapping a tendon to be working on the backhand slice anyway.
Out. 15 all. Out. 15-30.
Bergs looking for his first opportunity to break. Would be timely here at 5-4.
Again.
15-30. Real pressure now on Jiang. Both of these players have made about half of their second serve returns. This is one you have to put in the middle of the court and go to work.
That's exactly what he did, just couldn't put the finishing touches on it.
Let's go to our resident volley expert for a breakdown on that one. Wally?
30 all.
Well, look, I guess it was difficult. It was below net height, and that is probably the time that you're going to try to execute that little shot there. But has he done it enough in practice? Was he totally confident there? It didn't seem so. Anything inside that service square to the forehand might have got the job done.
You have become much more empathetic in your later years, Wally. I'm not sure you would have said that a couple of years ago.
It basically fell off his racket and hit his big toe. Little wild there on the backhand, but guys, I will say with the polyester strings that the current players use, it doesn't really help the volley. It's all about racket head speed with the polys, but when you got the volley, you've got to use your legs, you've got to hang on to it, your follow through's got to be higher than the point of contact, because you get nothing off the string if you've got no racket head speed.
Great atmosphere, great hold of serve. And Wally, the first person that ever I read about saying that particular comment that you've just made was Roger Federer. He was saying, because obviously he had played a fair bit of his career with a bit of gut in the strings, and he said when you go to all poly, you actually have to swing harder at the ball on the volley, and that is why you are seeing players miss more.
Yeah, and I think, Petch, you make contact, and the irony is, once you make contact, you've almost got to follow through and carry the ball to the target with poly as opposed to gut, where you kind of look up and it's gone. Jim, I hate to pay you a compliment on air, but...
we'll just hold it then. Wait till the commercial break.
If I was Bergs' coach, your ball toss would have probably hit the peak of your cap, and you had massive leg drive. You know, that's Bergs' second serve. I reckon that should be his first. He's falling 5 and 6 feet into the court. If Djokovic was making returns back at his feet, he'd actually be in a spot of bother.
like that.
15 all.
He's a late bloomer, relatively. Bergs just cracking into the top 100 a couple of years ago at the age of 25. He's still quite young. And if he's going to get to that next level, he's in the top 50 now. If he wants to push on into the top 25, top 20, and upwards from there, he's going to need more help with his serve. He's going to need to make the adjustment that Mark Petchey has suggested on that ball toss, which will give him more opportunity while he use the legs and drive up into that serve and make more of them.
That was more like it. And the other thing that you get, as, I mean, whether it's an intended or unintended consequence of making that ball change, I think you kind of come across the ball with the strings a little bit more. You get more movement off the court down the other end. It's
more tail.
Yeah. Especially on the serve on the deuce, I feel like he can pull the better players even further out of court, which is what he's going to need to do, because that fast wide serve doesn't hurt them. Saw that when Bergs took on Sinner at the indoors in Paris.
Left, second service.
Jiang has been searching for the right place, the right location to try and return this Bergs serve, particularly on the second. He's been wandering around. Had a good look at that one, but just couldn't find it. And are we heading to an opening set tiebreaker? Seems like it at the moment. 6-5.
Thank you.
That particular shot is looking good. Bit more spin on that, Jim, because he's got a fairly flat forehand, hasn't he, Bergs?
Yeah, he went for the lasso forehand a la Nadal there, where the racket ended up on the right side of his head, not across his body. And that's how, if you have a pretty traditional forehand grip, that's the only way you're going to get massive topspin. You've got to be extremely up the back of the ball. So it does bring a lot of risk of a mishit into play, but he got the reward that time.
Lovely footwork.
15 all.
Technique has always mattered in tennis. It always will. But when the game is as fast as it is today, which is faster in the men's and women's game than it's ever been by quite some margin, technique really matters, because you don't have time to compensate for it. You just don't. 18-30 here. Opportunity knocks again for Team Belgium.
30.
Yeah, we've seen both Alcaraz and Sinner work on their serves, but we've more importantly perhaps seen them both work on their backhands, just dropping the racket into the pocket.
Yeah, abbreviated swings.
Yep.
To make it easier to keep up with the pace coming their way. If they're doing it, everyone else should be thinking about it too.
That's where you just like to see Bergs have a little chip forehand. Just get in amongst it.
30 all.
Over 60% of the first serves made by Zhizhen have won the point for him. Unreturned. That's a lot of free points. And that's a good reason for Bergs to take your advice.
And again, chip there would keep the ball a bit lower and would make the net a little bit more of an obstacle. The sort of half-hit topspin return just sits up.
It's good serve. You're going to be up against it no matter what. When Triple Z makes that wide serve at 192, you're in trouble, but I agree. Keep it down if you can.
That's class. He looks very confident on the forehand. He's looking for forehands, and that's a really good sign when you've changed the stroke.
6 games on. First set, tiebreak.
Breakers won last year for Bergs, 14 lost. Jiang was in deficit, but of course didn't play that many breakers given his abbreviated season.
A 2-0 Team Belgium.
Nothing too exotic or extravagant on that particular return from Bergs.
Ball. A 2-1 Team Belgium. Get the board, please.
There are times, Jim, when you want to rein Bergs in, and there's other times when you look at that and you feel as though, well, that's going to be a problem for a lot of players because you just couldn't see it coming.
Yeah, he's a risk taker. We see that with his first serve and the way he attacks that. Even the second serve speeds are very quick. And definitely caught Triple Z off guard with that line backhand. No way to see that coming.
A 3-2 Team Belgium.
Both of Jiang's points in this break are coming from errors from his opponent. Well, the quality backhand cross-court return on the outside for Bergs opens up the advantage to a couple of points again as they change ends.
It's got to feel so good for Zhizhen to be back out here and out on tour after the 6 months away from it. He will, with his ranking now, have to play in some lower tournaments to try and recover. He'll also have some opportunities to use his old ranking, his protected ranking, because he was off tour for 6 months. He can use a double-digit ranking, basically what it was when he was away from the tour in the top 100, to enter some select tournaments. Not a full schedule, but he's back. And there's nothing that we're seeing here today that suggests he won't be back in the top 100 this time next year if he stays healthy.
A 5-2.
Those volleys, Belgium.
Smart play, had the ball above net height, stuck it deep, and he got it right that time, didn't he? Learned from his previous mistake, just hung on to the shot that little bit longer, didn't overplay it. He's certainly all out attack, isn't he? Irrespective of the situation.
6-2. Team Belgium.
Done a lot of good things in this breaker to bring up 4 set points.
Left for service. In first set, team
And he
Belgium.
finishes it off in style. Captivating set for all the fans here.
Let's go.
But it is Bergs who ultimately captures it for his nation.
Lafferty.
And there you can see the upside for the slice. Wasn't particularly deep, but it was low, and suddenly just a little bit more problematic for Jiang on a mid-court ball to try and carve something out.
Ball. Out. At 15-all. At 13-15.
That's sweet. That is really sweet. He was going backwards, but his side of the scoreboard was very much going forwards after that. runs the red light with the forehand, does Bergs, because of the...
What happens when you're a power player with small margins is you're going to be streaky. You're going to have days when it works and everything's going well, and you're going to be a real threat to lots of players. But it means you're going to have a pretty high ceiling, but it also means you're going to have a pretty low floor, because there are going to be days where you do self-harm with lots of unforced errors on that risky shot. And if you want to get better, you want to get into the top 20, you need your floor to come up. You need your bad days to be better. How do you de-risk that forehand is a question Jan de Wit needs to ask himself as the coach of Zizou Bergs.
And in fact, the previous forehand was actually a great illustration of that, because the outcome was sensational when you actually just see it, 15 love, everything's good in the world. But you actually looked at the slow motion. I mean, that barely missed the top of the tape.
Yeah.
Got a big bump up actually back in 2021 in an exhibition event, Tiebreak 10s, over in Dubai. It was kind of a mixed bag. Taylor Fritz was there, as was Gael Monfils, the man that beat him in Auckland at the start of last year. Managed to get the title, did Bergs. Pocketed about just over 200,000 Aussie dollars. That was a big jump in terms of money available to the Bergs family for his career.
Belgium, not one of the Grand Slam nations that has funding available for their players the way that Tennis Australia funds many players, and the United States Tennis Association does back in the US. So it's a lot tougher for players that come from smaller nations. Yeah, they'll get some help, but not as much as some of the wealthier nations from a tennis standpoint.
Chatting to Saint-Gilles, who was a doubles player that was sitting courtside, and he was just saying to me off mic that Belgium tennis is just coming a little bit more unity. You've got a few of the ex-players that are now part of the federation. They're spending a lot more time bringing everyone together, spending time going to various different, not just the federation academies, but private academies and clubs to just try and get a real sort of good work ethic ethos, but also a team ethos for the country.
13 love. At 13, 15.
And, players like Xavier Melis and David Goffin, who have climbed to great heights in the rankings from Belgium. China's still waiting for their first male player to really go very high up in the rankings. They had Li Na in the women's game famously, but they haven't had that version yet in men's tennis. Still waiting.
At 14, 15.
Yiping Wu and Jerry Shang, of course, also a couple of Chinese stars that have had injury problems in the last while. Shang, who underwent right foot surgery last year, it's kind of stalled their momentum. Classy, effortless hold of serve there from the 29-year-old, and he leads in the second.
Months probably to feel normal again, I would imagine. Hopefully sooner than that. he can make a run in a tournament like this, or some of the tournaments coming forward. But it takes matches, probably about 10 or so. That's what Jannik Sinner's team was talking about when he was coming back from his suspension in 2025. It might take him some time to get automated again with his shot selection and dealing with those moments. It didn't take him much time. He made the finals of his first tournament back in Rome. He's a little different than most, though. That's what you're looking for. You want to take the mind out of it as much as possible and just be reactive.
My 15 all. Ball. At 30, 15. At 40, 15. Left for service. Out. At 40, 30.
Chance on the front, couldn't make it happen. I think Volley Masseur's going to make it happen, although he's going to have to be fairly agile, I think, to try and get into the Team Belgium. But where is he? There he is. Is it? Have you made it in there, Wally?
Petch, you can probably just see my head here. I'm just sitting here with Elise, and Elise, congratulations this morning. You must be pretty pleased. Picked up in 2026 where you left off in 2025.
Yeah, very pleased about my game today, especially first match of the year, so you never know what you're going to get, but very pleased that I could put that one love on the board for Belgium.
Just on that one love, did you get a chance to see Zizou before he went out? Because it just gives him that little bit of breathing space from a team perspective.
Yes, of course, I waited in the hallway for him to, give him a little fist bump. But, he can relax and play his game. We won the first set, a tight one. Second set also very tight. But I'm fully confident in him that he can do well.
At least put on your coach's hat. Because when I watch you play, you have great shot selection. You play the right ball at the right time. Here, both men, it seems to be all-out attack. Errors don't seem to matter too much. They're striving for the winners. What would you say as Coach Mertens?
I mean, difficult to say. I think first serve with the men is very important. I think the first ball striking too. But yeah, it's difficult to say, women's tennis.
Be critical, come on.
Can I be critical? Attack the second serve and definitely put a little bit of pressure on the opponent. But, also play the rally a little bit. You don't have to make a winner on every point. Make the other one think a little bit too. And it might change that way, yeah.
Well, Elise, I'm pleased to say you validated Jim Courier and Mark Petchey in the box. They've been saying just that. All will stay the same, irrespective of the score for the mixed doubles in terms of which team takes the court for Belgium?
I mean, we're just going to have a look at this match first and then see who's going to play the mix. But I'm always open to play the mix. I play a lot of women's doubles in general, so I'm always ready to play and yeah, very eager to too.
I noticed where the off-season was all about just trying to be as proficient as you had been throughout the season.
I think it depends on where you are in your career. The later you go in your career, it's more about body preservation and freshening up. Early in your career, you're still trying to make gains everywhere. Every player is living a different story, their own individual story. But if you're a young player coming up, a teen who has broken into the top 100, your off-season probably should look a lot different than someone who's established and has been around and is physically at their peak. You still have a lot of muscle that you need to build probably at that age. That's not the case for Zizou Bergs or Zhizhen. For Jiang, it's clearly about making sure that he's healthy and his body's going to be durable, and use that time to maybe shore up the forehand side, which hasn't been his best wing. But for Bergs, who played deep into the calendar because he was involved in the finals, the final week of men's tennis in the Davis Cup, his off-season was just 6 weeks. That's light. So there's recovery, there's rest, there's freshening your mind, and then it's the preparation to be ready to go big early, because the first major of the year comes early, as we all know. That's why we're here. I suspect you were probably a tinkerer.
Yeah, too much. Yeah, definitely. Looking for things that didn't exist.
One of the interesting things of coming to Australia for the first week of the season and seeing what equipment changes players have made, whether it's rackets, whether it's strings. Coaching changes have been made in the season as well. Technical changes. There's so many factors for these players to consider.
Berg can certainly throw his arm at the ball, as you can see. Jiang perhaps more proficient in terms of hanging on to his serve at times, but not today. Both have been equal in that term and that number. As Bergs pulls up alongside Jiang at 3 apiece.
3 games all.
As you say, the condensed kind of off-season for this man meant that he wouldn't have had an awful lot of time to have been able to tinker too much with Jan de Witt, who has come on board in the midway through 2025. I'm sure de Witt would have loved to have had a bit more time with him. Jiang return numbers remain stubbornly high for Zizou Bergs at the moment. If you're going to take pace off and serve and volley behind it, you better make sure your first step is quick out of the service motion. Otherwise, you're going to be hitting the first volley behind the service line. polished hold of serve from the 29-year-old. And Jiang with a 4-3 lead in the second set.
China leads 4 games to 3.
Open in 2022, had 7 match points trying to get his first main draw match win. Then against Ben Shelton, of course, in the Aussie Open in 2023, held a match point against the American. Ben going on to make the last 8 of that particular tournament. The emotional turmoil that you have to deal with throughout the course of the season, never easy. Jiang, Indian Wells last tournament last year before stopping because of the shoulder problem, had a couple of match points against Diallo, then had to take the 6 months off thinking of that. Diallo was, of course, the man that Bergs saved a couple of match points against in Shanghai before getting through to the quarters of a Masters 1000 for the first time. You have to be resilient in this sport.
13 now.
It's a little winded at the moment here, Bergs.
And 13-15.
Opted for the drop shot attempt, though. Certainly a point shortener. Couldn't land it, but still in good shape here at 30-15 in this service game.
He's lined up a couple of really good-looking opportunities on the 4-iron, Jiang, but he has failed to land any of them.
Introduction of the slice backhand. Pays a dividend, keeping the ball down low. And able to climb over the net with his backhand. I always felt that Zhizhen's forehand, if he has time on the ball, can be very dangerous, but when you rush it, it's hugely vulnerable. He doesn't handle pace well on that shot, which is why so many second serves are successful against his forehand. They're coming at higher speed than almost every ground stroke you're going to see. If I was Bergs, I'd target a lot to the forehand, but now maybe not so. He's gone back for this return.
Wow, that's a bullet. And that was such a beautiful point. It was crafted early on with a couple of slice backhands.
Use.
And he has stayed through that shot with his head so still. Can he capitalize on it? What a response from Bergs.
Well, this game has been really the first time we've seen something different from Triple Z. He's gone back on the return of serve on his second serve a couple of points ago. He's introduced the backhand slice into the match. Not able to get to a break point, but good signs for him and great signs for Bergs that he could fend it off and get the 4-piece. This match just got a lot more interesting in my mind anyway.
I agree. That was a great response from Bergs. Got a little bit of a code red flashing, and he responded. Couple of indifferent backhands put him in the foxhole and couldn't fight his way out of it.
30 love. $13, 15.
Crowd love it, and rightly so.
And 14, 15.
Lovely quick grip change there. Look at that. Has to come from quite a long way. You can see he almost has to get his whole hand off the racket to be able to get it in the right place to hit it. A well-positioned serve, and he himself is well-positioned in the second set. It's been serve dominated, and Jiang.
Going deep for the second return is Zhizhen, giving himself a little bit more time on the ball. He gets rushed on that forehand, and the error follows. Good attack from the Belgian.
We talk about trouble when it goes hard and fast into the Jiang forehand, but it's interesting. His first step with that right leg is backwards. His head's high, all the weight on the back foot, and then he just lifts up off the ball. Sometimes you just got to hold your ground and block or smother it with some racket head speed.
Left for service. And 30 love.
See. Yes.
At 13, 15.
The antidote to big serving has been the desire for a lot of players, particularly led by Daniel Medvedev, to go deeper to be able to return these powerful serves. But you do feel both these two players, if they could utilise being able to block a ball back into play from where they feel more comfortable standing, it would have helped them in this. But it's another comfortable hold. And there's been 10 of them in this second set so far.
Just on that block, and I go back to a Stan Wawrinka who just did it so well. Big strong base, just blocked the forehand, blocked the backhand, and then he was in the rally. It's not like you do it once or twice. You do it for a period of time to build pressure, and hopefully make the guy start to extend or try to overserve, searching for free points.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Well, it's going to happen back in the lab, though. It's not going to just suddenly magically appear in match.
No, it's not a tap he can turn on, but Bergs, you would think, can neutralise his grip, and you'd think he can do it.
13, 15.
It's not one of the things that you have to change instinctively either. You can predeterminedly stand there with a backhand grip and just block.
It's about as close as Zizou's come to getting a break point. 30 all. 5 all. Huge moment in this match.
Ball.
Second serve returns on the deuce side that Bergs has allowed Jiang to find his forehand with the first shot. And it's been costly that he hasn't been able to find the double-hander of his opponent.
How good was that double-hander from Triple Z here, though? Bergs was covering cross court, so he put a little extra mustard on that one. That was spicy.
Left for service.
Hot English, Jim, a bit like Petch.
Hit a lovely volley, but he got away with a fairly conservative approach shot.
Advantage, Team China.
Jiang closes the door on any ambitions Bergs had at creating an opportunity to break. And the Belgian trails 5-6, second set.
6 games to 5.
different energies clashing here on Rod Laver Arena. Oh, not Rod Laver, Ken Rosewall Arena. We'll be there in a couple weeks' time.
We might be in a third set here in a couple of moments if Jiang can find a couple more of those.
15. Net for service.
He did find another one, unfortunately for him. That kissed the top of the net on the way through.
Let's go.
This is a bone crusher of a forehand from Zhizhen. Changing directions and throttling that one. High risk, high reward. 146 clicks to get it done.
Shot. And what a returning game this has been from Jiang. He is absolutely lighting it up.
At 15.
Did so well to hang on to that shot. Set points.
Ball.
Planning to dance with the date he brought, huh? He's just going to keep going for it in this game. Didn't miss by much, but miss he did. One set point saved. Another one coming right now.
Advantage, Team Belgium.
Just too good, too well placed, and too quick, because Jiang had actually read that serve was going that way.
Game Team Belgium.
Bergs survives. A blizzard of brilliant shots from Jiang, but it wasn't enough to claim the second set, and it's still on a knife edge.
A 6-game toll. The second set tiebreak.
Suboptimal start to the opening set breaker from Jiang. He'll be hoping for something a little more substantial here.
Net for service. Out. 1-0. Team China.
Let's go.
It's one of those moments where you feel that Bergs just needs to play the moment. He's just got himself out of jail, saving a couple of set points. Disappointment will be on the other side of the court for a little bit, and just got to force Jiang to somehow play that rally. Electrify.
Geez, guys, I thought initially when he played that drop shot he's in trouble, but the fact that he followed it in was absolutely perfect. Zhang had to hit up, and there he was, staring him down at the net.
How big does he go with his second serve, given the aggression that Jiang has shown on the second returns as of late? Puts pressure on this.
He went big. 175 Ks, almost 110 miles an hour.
2-1, Team China.
Eventually that backhand down the line doing the damage for Team China. And the early mini break goes their way this time, unlike the opening tiebreaker.
And the ace establishing a bridgehead here for Jiang. And he's attacking.
And 4-1, Team China.
Perfect placement on two serves, very close to the line on the second one after ripping through the line on the 2-1 point. So 4-1 lead now, and two pressure-packed serves coming for Bergs. Well, higher quality second set tiebreak compared to the opener, where a lot of unforced errors were causing friction. Right here, it's just excellence on both sides. And so much at stake. If Bergs turns this around, it's 2-love Belgium. That is good enough. The doubles will be played, of course. Every match matters at the United Cup. But this tie would be decided if Bergs can turn this one around here. He has some work to do. And given the risk that Jiang has been applying tactically here in the last 20 minutes, can he sustain that through the end of this tiebreaker without doing himself some harm and unforced errors? Well, we're all going to find out together right about now.
Haven't seen many of those. Big in the body from Bergs. And he is stalking Jiang in this second set breaker.
Net for service. Ball.
He's done so well to keep his focus, Jiang.
Finds the line after Bergs' feet just lose grip. Does an amazing job just getting that one back, diving to it. And that forehand dives onto the line. And they've got to dry the court off where Bergs went down, so that has taken place right now.
Team China.
But the scoreboard still reads many break in hand for Team China, 5-3.
He's been comfortably the better player in the last 15 minutes as Jiang. And once again, he's back to set points.
A 6-3, Team China. Game and second set, Team China.
Completely deserves that second set, Jiang.
One set all.
Operated at a much higher gear than Bergs.
love.
Lovely serving volley there. I'm sure who Bergs admired when he was a youngster, who his heroes were, but so many of his mannerisms and even the baseball cap backwards, the way he sets up for his serve, remind me of Andy Roddick. Not the service motion necessarily, but everything that happens in between the points, the way he peacocks around the court like my man Andy. Kind of fun.
Oh yeah, that was a Roddick-like forehand as well. His actual idols were Federer and Kierton growing up. But I agree with you in terms of what you've just observed there. Definitely like some Roddick mannerisms.
Like the way he bounces the ball before he serves. It's a carbon copy of what Roddick did. Not quite the same accuracy. Andy, one of the great servers in his time.
Team Belgium.
Yeah, that's a promising start after a disappointing end to the second set for the team that Jiang's built up in the last 5 minutes or so.
And 15 love.
Great slice forehand from Jiang.
It was, and because Bergs has so little topspin naturally on his forehand, he has to hit that cross court over the lower part of the net to really have a chance. That was the wrong shot to play, but a great shot from a Triple Z. Both of these players much better pulling their forehands cross court or inside in there.
It's 13-15.
Nicely done on the slice. A little bit more net play coming in. Saw a serve and volley from Bergs. A little chip in charge there. So technically speaking, that was a very good defensive play by Bergs to cover the cross-court forehand. He will take off early if you keep your eyes on him and cover cross, and he should, because that's where Team China wants to hit it. They forced Triple Z to hit the awkward shot, and that's your job as a defensive player, is to make your opponent hit the shots they least like to hit. And if they hit them, too good.
Again, when that ball doesn't get up high enough, it is problematic for Bergs.
One game.
A lot of good things in 2025 did Bergs, particularly when he got to a deciding set. Had an excellent record, 11 wins, just the 5 losses when he went to a decider.
Interesting at the level I'm sitting just to watch the 2 slices that he hit both off the forehand and the backhand in that previous game. Both times he made contact around hip height, but the ball had genuine bite and forced Bergs to hit up, which he didn't enjoy. Can he do that off a second serve? Can he get the bite from a delivery that is higher?
15-13.
Go Zizou.
It's not going to die wondering. He went for that one, but man, he's had some chances and just not made returns. That's why the pain shows up in the face Should have had at least a look at 1540 here. That's some clever serving. Going after the forehand, continuously paying off for Team Belgium. Rushing Zhang's forehand works. Just not technically sound enough on that side to sustain the pressure when it's coming heavy at it like that. Nowhere near the court on that return.
Team Belgium.
And again, more traffic being directed to that forehand side, rightly so from Bergs. 2-1.
2-1 go. 15 love.
Just can't get his teeth into a service game on the return, Bergs, quickly.
No, I mean, they should be discussing what to do on return to serve, having not gotten a break point yet.
Let's go service.
In the first place you typically start is, where do you return from? You're going to change that. Go either very deep, which I would suggest, because it changes the view of the server and maybe they lose rhythm. But you've got to do something to move the pieces of the puzzle around a little bit. Because right now, it's just not generating the opportunities. How do you get back to even after the serve in the rally? That's the question. We need to find the answer to that. The easiest way to do it is to cause them to miss first serves by confusing them with your return to serve position to get them out of rhythm, because if it makes that first serve at 207K, you're going to have a hard time being neutral in the rally.
40 love.
Yeah, there's nothing he can do about that.
It's just too good. Fucking outside edge with that ace.
Two games all.
Let's go. It's gonna turn. Keep going. Let's go. Come on. Also der trifft jetzt ein paar zu viel.
That was an outrageous drop shot.
Love 30.
I think Bergs went for 6 on it, didn't he?
The little body English afterwards from Jiang, wasn't sure he just floated it enough, but he did.
I can understand why you don't want to talk about cricket, Petch.
15,
Fun to watch the new T2s.
Not a fun moment for Zizou Bergs here at 15:30. So where does he go here? If he's been talking about avoiding the forehand, he goes to the backhand. Triple Z is going to make that return most of the time. That's the right play. Keep going at the forehand. It's been paying a huge dividend for him. So many second serve unreturned off the forehand wing of Jiang Zhizhen.
Let's go.
We say second serve, 110 miles an hour, 177 K's going in again.
Well, he's going over the low part of the net. He could be more aggressive. You have to take more pace off to go wide in the ad court for a righty. or at least you should for safety reasons.
40-30.
He's defused the 15-30 ticking time bomb with a couple of good serves.
But Jim, you were suggesting Bergs needs to look at where he stands on return. Why wouldn't Jiang just move over there? Or move on second serve.
Team Belgium.
It's moving forward every time for both players behind their service games. Continues to be no breaks, 3-2.
Team Belgium is 3 games to 2.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing's a good guy hits 3 lines in a row. Forget about it. We focus on what you want to do when you touch the ball. When you touch the ball, you return towards his backhand deep. If we get a big point from the end side, and the big point is already 15-30, I want you to close the tee. Yeah? And if he goes wide, put it on me. But the tee, you have it. The position is wrong.
Out of the ordinary on this first point, just to give him a convert, go right to the advertising at the back, the LED board, and go over a little bit to his right and just try and see whether he can just kind of just shake the concentration of Jiang.
His coach wants him standing up close for the second serve return and being aggressive. That's exactly what he's doing. Now, what a serve that was. Big pace and great accuracy up the tee.
15 love. Ball.
Well, it wasn't the aggression that won him the point, it was actually the defense.
It was great defense and really covering that cross-court forehand well. The preferred shot from Jiang, and then finally Jiang opts for the uncomfortable inside out. Missed it badly. That's just awesome. From Zhizhen, pressure-packed moments here. And he finds the finesse.
15.
Times you'd just love to see Bergs shape that forehand and go inside in, that's fine, but shape it high over the net and get a bit of depth and force Jiang to run on the diagonal away from the court. He's always looking for the kill shot, and when you hit it as superbly as that, you can understand why.
40-30.
Everyone in the world of tennis would be blindsided by that brilliance. What a shot. And he's found another one, this time with the backhand. And is this where Berg strikes?
Handy block return, though. It was up high. He chipped it, and he got some genuine bite. And that's what we've been talking about. Forced him to float that approach. And there's the accuracy on the backhand.
Advantage, Team China.
China did a nice job of cleaning up after a fairly indifferent first volley, Jiang.
3 games all.
Got to go line on this though, surely. Half a step, he's got the cross court covered. Go line, he's got to hit the backhand volley back across in front of you. You'll get to it.
Ball. $15 love. Ball. Left, second service. $15 all. $15, $30.
Let's go, Zizou.
What a chance now. Zhang taking advantage of a poorly struck first serve, only 179K. That's been his second serve average speed roughly, and it just was right into the slot. And he pulls it inside in, and here comes a real problem for Team Belgium. Opportunity for Team China. Double break point. What's going on with the serve? But that was another lightly hit one. Cranks the second, though.
30-40.
Triple Z, I hate to tell you, buddy, but you're making a huge mistake standing in close on those second serve returns. You got to go back behind the Sydney line and buy some time. He's just missing too many important second serve returns. Most of them on the forehand side. That time, the two-hander.
Oh, he's done it. And he hasn't been that proficient up at net, but when it mattered, he delivered.
Use.
You got to like that, Apex. Sometimes a player will come forward and make a mess of it, and then they'll hesitate. They won't do it again. But the time was right. He backed himself. It's the type of player he is, Bergs. Not a lot of self-doubt there.
Softens Bergs up with a couple of crushing forehands down the line, and then sweeps the last one across the face of the Belgian. And once again, for an 8th time, a breakpoint opportunity in this match for Jiang. Yet to take anything before this. Can he do it right now?
Deuce.
We know Bergs has been
Belgian.
audibly frustrated in not being able to generate a single break point, but Jiang has held his disappointment down deep. He's had all the chances and yet to take any of them.
Team Belgium.
Bit of electrifying entertainment from Bergs. Comes through another service game unscathed. 4-3.
Team Belgium is 4 games to 3.
Play more in the back again. It's forward is straight like crazy. You mix the errors with the forehand when you can play there aggressively. It's really good when the ball is a bit slower and on the return.
Still no breaks to serve. And there won't be another one here if he can find 3 more darts like that. And as you say, Jim, he's been incredibly emotionally stable after the disappointments of not taking his chances.
The only real emotion we've seen from Zhizhen has been the smile in the team zone when he's having fun with his coach and his comrades. But no problem bouncing back from another game where he had some chances to be the first player to break a serve. Sometimes that can weigh you down, but no problem. He shirks it off quickly to 40 love here.
Ball.
Yeah.
15.
Jiang has introduced the ball to the line on numerous occasions with that forehand. That was another one that glued itself to it.
4 games off.
发不动你，发不动你，很好。
Just what he wanted. Very swift hold of serve. Pressure quickly reverts to Berg's side of the court.
Love.
So cute.
At 13 love.
Let's go.
Love. Stop. 40-15.
Yeah, 15th ace of the match for Bergs, and that puts him in a prime position at 5-4 in the decider.
Team Belgium is 5 games to 4.
Once again, very prescribed information coming from Coach Jiang as to how to approach the return game.
Music, please.
Almost taking the thought out of it for Bergs. I think sometimes it's a case as a play, you've got to play the ball you get, not the ball you want. Particularly on that second serve.
Net first service.
What I think's become clear as this match has worn on is that strategically for Bergs, once he's in the rally, if he's not going to hit the ball hard, he needs to direct it at the two-handed backhand of Jiang. But he should feel the freedom to attack the forehand of his opponent if he's got a chance to rip the ball. So he's got to be very selective about when he goes into the forehand corner of Zhang Zhizhen. He's got to go with pace there.
Out. At 15 all.
I concur, Jim. You know, you go into Zhang's backhand. It's a good shot. Probably not going to miss it like he did there, but you'll get another hit. And you can maybe buy some time then to go hard and fast into the forehand.
Yep.
Out. $13, 15. Out. 40, 15.
Maybe Jiang just a touch complacent. He thought the drop shot was good enough to have won him the point, but good hustle from Bergs.
40, 30.
Unpredictability on the serve wins that point. for Triple Z. What about the predictability of Zizou's serve in this final set?
Games on.
He's been pretty consistently peppering the forehand wing of his opponent with the first serves, Patch.
Yeah, he has. I mean, that is a big number, isn't it? Particularly on the ad side going through the tee, and there's an opportunity there, as you say, for Triple Z to just take an educated gamble and stand there.
And both teams have the ability to get that information in the team zones. They have the tablets in there that show where the serves are going if they want to toggle through that. Haven't seen the coaching staffs utilizing it as much in this match as in some of the others. But that is not information just for us to enjoy. The teams also have access to it in real time.
love.
And the data was not incorrect.
Love. $30, 15. $40, 15. $40, 30.
Effortless power on that return from Jiang. Talked about the change in his technique on the forehand, allowing him to get a little bit better weight transference through the ball, everything working in unison. And that one forehand return on the previous point gave him the additional bit of traction for longer in this return game, and it might just be enough to tilt the tables in his favor. Well, he went there, Jim. He read it. Actually needed to just dial down the power. He almost tried to add pace.
Yeah, he knew it was going there. He left early to cover the wide serve, almost overran it. And it was going to be a serve and volley if necessary. Bergs getting the job done. Back to add in.
Oh, yes. Welcome to tennis in 2026. And what a gem. I mean, look at that shot. You cannot hit a tennis ball any better than that. And like a mirror ball, whichever angle you look at it, it was absolutely spectacular.
China.
He deserves this opportunity. Spellbinding play from Jiang.
How about the change-up serve on the break point? He's gone a couple of times out wide in the deuce court in this game with first serves and pulls off a big one there, having not gone there but one time prior to this in the entire set. Went against the grain when he needed it. And gets back to add in.
Team Belgium.
The sanctuary of his corner still awaits Bergs. With serve under siege. Will he roll the dice and go on wide again?
Advantage, Team China.
Jiang in his travels around Europe has learned the art of allowing his opponent to miss in some big moments. And it's a skill all players need.
Team China.
Well, he hasn't been 10 out of 10 on breakpoint.
Pretty good presence of mind, isn't it, from Jiang? That first set, second set tiebreaker, excuse me, he stepped up the pace, executed beautifully, and then he just found a way using that backhand slice, some good placement, change of pace off the ground. It's a great effort for a guy that spent most of 2025 injured.
30 love.
Can he close the door? Just before this game started, Jiang looked relaxed in the team zone and came out to serve and started shaking his legs out as if he had some little fatigue in there. Probably more anxiety than anything at this moment. Some first serves have helped him get a lead. Could use a couple more. Big sigh before this serve, big exhale from Jiang. And he gets a gift and double match point with it.
And 14-15. Game, set and match.
That
Team China
is a magnificent win.
6-7, 7-6, 7-5.
For Jiang, just his second win since March of 2025. An absolute epic. Pure entertainment. And from the